Well, good morning to all of you. Welcome to Monday, May the 12th, 2025. Just another ho-hum day. Start another ho-hum week. Oh, nothing going on. There you have it. 1,000-point gain on the Dow. Whoop-de-doo. 176 on S&P. An 800-point gain on NASDAQ, almost 4%. I wish there was action. Wouldn't it be great if we had something to really talk about? Oh my. I remember back in 2021 when I was starting this live Odyssey with you guys. I remember in the summertime, it was like late spring, summer, the whole GameStop thing had exploded in December, January, February, March. The drama, when Robinhood wouldn't let you buy the stock, you could only sell the stock, and miraculously it went from 400 to 100. Incredible. When you can't buy a stock, it's incredible how it goes down in price. And no one was taken to prison, no one was charged, nobody was investigated by the SEC, nobody was fined. There's nothing to see here. All is well. We let brokerage firms manipulate the market with the assistance of Citadel and everybody else. No problem. We went through all that, remember? And those of you who are writing call options through the spring and the summer and the fall, and you started hauling in gazillions of dollars writing options when you were being accused of being traders to your own stock and all that nonsense. I remember in those days, through the rest of 2021, markets were hitting new all-time highs. After all, Biden was the president, and things were quiet, and there wasn't any drama coming out of the White House, and so the markets could just react to business. Business could get the headlines. Americans could get headlines. Economic events would get the headlines, not the president of the United States coming out of the toilet telling everybody what color his toilet paper was. We didn't want to hear that anymore. The markets hit new all-time highs because people could concentrate on the markets. But I remember during that time that there was a complaint. It was a kind of a consistent needling of discontent. And what was it? Not that the markets were near or at or setting new all-time highs again and again and again and again. No, that wasn't it. It was that the stock market wasn't moving more than 1% a day. The complacency of it, where investors are going, if everything is so great, why aren't we going up 5% in one day? Or why aren't we getting a real wave of buying into this market? It's kind of like the most reluctant bull market we've ever seen. You may not remember this. Some of you might go, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember people talking about that. Very reluctant bull market was going on, and it didn't want to just grab it and run. It was just kind of meandering. And that was coming out of COVID. We were in the last stages of the lockup, and soon we would get revenge travel, and we get the startup of business again. And of course, the shipping companies were waiting on the sidelines to nail everybody with big price increases for shipping. If you want your goods first ahead of everyone else, you got to pay triple the rate. And a lot of people fell for that, and it created the beginning of an inflationary wave, and the whole global market started up. And then in each separate country of the world, the electorate, the opposition electorate, which every country has, you have people in power and those who would like to be in power, blamed their leaders for their inflation, if not world inflation. And so, of course, President Biden was blamed for worldwide inflation. Prime Minister Trudeau in Canada, worldwide inflation is all your fault. The Prime Minister of Britain, which I don't remember anymore, is that three prime ministers ago, blamed for everything. And of course, Germany and France and Italy and Spain and Portugal and everybody blamed everybody else for what was going on, and the markets kept hitting highs through 2021 into 2022, but then we topped out, and interest rates had to go up. Why? Because inflation went up, and the Fed said, if you guys raise your prices, we're going to raise interest rates. And sure enough, everyone accused the Fed of being late to the party instead of being ahead of the curve. And the Fed said, we're just reacting to the stats. You guys want to run inflation to 8, 9, 10% from zero when there was no need to do it? We're here to ensure you will pay a price. And sure enough, that's what happened. And so here we are today, 1,000-point run on the Dow. The Dow's up 1,100 right now. And some of you are excited. Some of you are bona fide, pumped up this morning, as you should be. Look at your SoFi. You're doing great. SoFi's at 1409. SoFi's on the way to 15 to 17 again. Fantastic. But then again, SoFi was never the leader of the tariff game. SoFi was never targeted by Trump as a stock to punish because of tariffs. No. But why did SoFi go from 1840 to 850 a share? Really, I can see it hitting the new high at 18 something and coming into the 1416 level to kind of, reestablish a new base and kind of go from there. But to go from that 1416 all the way down to 8, well, that was April, the first round of tariffs in March, the second round of tariffs in April, the reciprocal, the fight, the war, the complete shutdown of trade between America and the USA and America and everybody. Makes sense. All stocks took a hit. But look at your SoFi now. You're back to $14 a share. And the company came out with a first quarter result that just blew the street away. And they're going to do it again in the second quarter. And so smart money is going, I'm getting in here. I'm getting in here because it won't go back to 850. SoFi actually won't even go down to 11 anymore. No, SoFi now, the question is, when does it hit 20 this year? Does it hit 20 in the summer, the fall, or the winter? It's going to hit 20 this year. It's just a question of what month is it going to do that. And then from there, what are the projections? But again, there are the doubters and there are the professional hacks who are going to, poo-poo anything SoFi does, no matter how good they do it. Are you used to it since 2021? I mean, I am. What's going to happen with GameStop? What's going to happen with Rocket Lab? What's going to happen with AI, Unity? What's going to happen with the big Magnificent Seven? What's happening with the SPYs, the triple Qs? What is happening, Bruce? Tell us what's happening. Tell us what's going to happen, and tell me the trade I need to do in the next 1.5 hours that will make me a millionaire by the end of the day today. Just tell me that, Bruce, and I will forgive you for all of your sins, and I will bless you like I bless the Pope, and we'll be friends forever. And 5 years from now, when a buddy of mine says to me, how did you become a multimillionaire? You'll say, I'll never forget what's his name. I'll never forget that guy. What was his name? Welcome to the party, Bill. Welcome to my world. How you doing? Nice to see you here. Okay, we're up 2.7% on the Dow. Great. We were at 45,000 at the all-time highs. We're at 42,000 estimated right now in the pre-market. We have a ways to go, and we're not going to get there. I'm sorry to say, we're really not going to get to new all-time highs. As a matter of fact, I'm worried that this rally in a few days from now will fizzle out. I'm worried about it. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I am worried it might happen by next week. Why, Uncle Bruce, are you such a pessimist? Give me a break. Because at the end of the day, our friends between the U.S. and China, these two guys, as a Canadian, I can say these two guys, Canada, America and China, they've come up with a significant arrangement and agreement this weekend. Yeah, really significant. They're back to where they were 3 weeks ago, which was in a crisis mode. When Trump put in the initial tariffs and then nailed China with these fentanyl tariffs, just like he nailed Canada with the fentanyl tariffs, ignoring the fact that the fentanyl problem is because college kids and high school kids and others are so depressed and are so convinced that the future sucks, and they watch their parents bitch and moan and never be satisfied, and the politics of America is such garbage. Why wouldn't these kids become drug users? What have they got to look forward to? Got an old man in the White House who hates everything, who never smiles, has no optimism in his life, is about to receive a $400 million jet as a gift. They're going, why should I work hard? Why should I get a day job? Why should I go through this crap that my parents went through and my grandparents went through, only to see at the end of the day my grandparents living in the basement of our house, my oldest brother out of college living in the basement of the house beside the grandparents? What's the upside for me? Give me a pill. Let me forget about this. Because God forbid, I try to buy a Mickey through a corner store to get drunk on a Friday night after high school. Yeah, I can get these pills from anybody. I don't have to show ID. America is drowning in fentanyl. Every club in America, every dance hall, every place where people are trying to forget about their troubles, there's a competition for people's minds. It's either from drinking too much beer, drinking too much whiskey and other exotic stupid drinks, or popping a couple of pills. And if you haven't got $50 to $100 to blow on a bunch of expensive overpriced drinks, you pop a couple of pills for $20-$30 and get high. Unfortunately, you lose some of these kids forever because they get some toxic, I don't know what, animal tranquilizers. Who knows what the hell's in this stuff. The consumer is to blame. You can blame China all you want for America's drug problem, but that's not the issue here. It's the user that you have to blame. Sorry, folks. Sorry, middle class America. You're responsible for your kids getting high and taking drugs. It's up to you. And look in the mirror, and it's the only person that they can actually look at for inspiration to not be a drug user. Same in Canada, same in Britain, same in Germany, around the world. Fentanyl is a global issue. It is not an America only or China only issue. It's global. And Americans, actual Americans, the greatest folks in the world, as far as I'm concerned, along with Canadians, we're great people. You know what? We're getting kicked in the teeth by our governments. And in America, you are getting kicked in the ass by your 80-year-old fart in the White House. Because this guy is so gone, along with his advisors, so gone. They have an excellent strategy in place. The strategy here is not just to get power and become the leader of the so-called free world. It's now to keep power and make it next to impossible for anyone to come along and get them kicked out. Because once you're in the White House, you don't want to leave it. And you may have noticed around, January 6th, 2021, what was that year? There was a little, party going on. A bunch of tourists came to town with baseball bats and other paraphernalia to try to keep someone in the White House, despite the fact that he had his ass handed to him by Biden. But hey, I digress. Wait until the next one. I mean, you think the show is over. You think you've seen it all. You've seen Jack diddly squat. And right now, Americans, if you are a 50%er on the demographic scale of America, which used to be a solid middle-class American that could afford to put his kids through college, could afford a house, could afford a summer vacay, and you had a pension waiting for you that was indexed to inflation, covered, you're set, you're solid for the rest of your life. You worked your butt off. You were loyal to that company for 35 years. The company and the country is loyal to you. Those days are over. And now it is party time for the top 1%ers who have raped the bottom 99% for everything they've got and are still doing it. And they've got their boy and their advisors right up there. Have you noticed? Anyone out there? Is anyone awake? Have you noticed how many 1%ers run the United States government from the cabinet of the USA? There are no middle-class people in that White House. There are no upper middle-class people anywhere near that White House in the cabinet room. They're all 1%ers. They're all backed and they're all part of massive, multi-billion-dollar super PACs that have been designed to outspend any candidate that wants to attempt to knock off a Republican candidate in certain states. And all they got to do is get 48, 49% of the vote, We hang on to power. Do you have to convince 98% of Americans to vote for you to be in power? No, you don't. You only have to convince 49% of the folks who come out to vote to maintain power. And if you can make it unappealing to go and vote, you make it restrictive to make it an opportunity to go to vote, where your vote is deemed illegal, then you only need 48% of the vote that's coming in to maintain power. You don't need a majority of anything, period. And for Americans right now, the bad news is on the China-US deal, it isn't 145% tariff coming in and 125% tariff going out. Those are waived. Okay, we're back to the 10% level, except for one little tiny detail that no one is really talking about. There's a 20% fentanyl surcharge still in place. As I've mentioned, the fentanyl problem is at the user side, not the distributor side. If the buyer didn't buy fentanyl pills, no one could sell them for anything. But there's a tremendous demand to waste your brain for a few hours. That's the intent. Unfortunately, people die from this stuff because they have no reason to be high on living life in the life they've got. I don't see that getting any better, sorry to say. I really don't see it getting any better. In any event, the 30% tariff that America has left in place for Chinese goods coming into America will kill independent businesses in the United States all this year. There are stories now emerging more and more from every state in the union about how companies in America, mom and pops and 10 employees and 20 employees and 50 employees, these are the employers of America. Forget Apple, forget IBM and all their thousands of employees, forget Walmart. I'm talking about the backbone of the U.S. economy, which is the hardworking, entrepreneurial Americans who make sure their kids don't take fentanyl or do the best they can, they don't take fentanyl. These people that you want to succeed badly, they're buying raw materials from around the world and from around America to make product for American consumers. Unfortunately, many of these firms cannot find raw materials that they need for the products they make. And I'm talking about, I would have said in the past, space age products. I'm talking about the cutting edge products Americans want and will pay premium money for. They need the raw materials from countries like Canada, Europe, China, elsewhere in the Middle East and elsewhere. And out of China, the goods are still being nailed at 30% duty. And so raw materials that cost 30% more then are manufactured and put together with other materials to make a product. At the end of the day, the product has got to be 30% more expensive, 40% more expensive to cover the increased costs to these businesses. The end consumer, yeah, there are some 1%ers who will buy this merchandise, but there's only 1%ers. There's only so many 1%ers. It's not like 150 million 1%ers exist in America. There's thousands of them, maybe. These folks are busy. They're going to Paris for the weekend. They're going to Zurich for skiing time. They're going to Switzerland to go skiing for the weekend in their private jet, and then they come back. They're not necessarily buying from middle-class American mom and pops the business to keep that business going. No, the business for these entrepreneurs that I'm talking about is the rest of America, the 90% below, and forget the bottom 20%. They're trying to eat. They're trying to not sleep in a cardboard box under the highway tonight. They're trying to find a shelter. So forget the bottom 20%. I'm sorry. They're not consumers. They're survivors, which is another story. No, from the 20% point and higher, the higher you get to the 50% range and above, that's where people have or have had discretionary income. And these are the folks who can buy these items from these entrepreneurs who are trying to get out of the bottom 50% and move into the top echelon themselves. These folks are getting crushed by the Trump administration because the Trump administration is driving a gigantic steamroller and trying to smooth out the highway. Unfortunately, there are people underneath the steamroller who are victims and have to be sacrificed for the good of the country. And unfortunately, It's going to kill the country in an indirect way, because when you snuff out the entrepreneurial side of America, you stop forward winners from becoming evident to the rest of us. There are public companies. There are companies now that could have become very successful public companies 5 and 10 and 15 years from now, because it takes time to grow an idea into a business that can then flourish into a public corporation and take it to thousands of employees with international sales. These little seedlings have been squished out and will be continued to be squished out for the rest of this year. The agreement we got this morning is a 90-day agreement. It's only a 90-day suspension of these punitive tariffs. That is, in effect, a full-blown trade embargo between the U.S. and China. That's all that is. There is no assurance that this isn't going to go back. They'll hold this over each other's heads as a threat that if you don't make a deal with us on this or this or this, these come back. And everyone's trying to poo-poo that. It's all going to be fine now. We're through the rough part. The rough patch is over. We're all good now. Well, we'll wait and see about that. The market's up 1,062 right now. It's not up 3,062. Okay. The Canada free trade deal, the Mexico trade deal, the trade deal with the European Union, that is a pickle jar over there. The European Union deal, that is a nightmare. Everyone knows that's a nightmare. They are pissed off over there, as they should be. And the European Union has a growth engine within the European Union that America can't stop, and that's called Germany. The Germans, as inefficient as they were last week and as kind of unpredictable they were for a while, they elected their chancellor. They've got their chancellor now. They've passed laws to spend $1 trillion on infrastructure. They have an unlimited budget for military spending. They have more money than America does. Germany is richer than America is when it comes to availability of cash to go into its economy. America needs cash to borrow more money for its deficits, because America is more interested at the highest level of American politics. The number one concern of the top echelon of the United States government, the elected officials in the administration and the Senate and the Congress, what's the number one thing they want? A big, fat, beautiful bill called a tax cut. That's what they want. They want lower taxes. You put lower taxes in place when you can afford to pay them. You don't take in less money when you need more money to survive. America, the politicians, just have a feeling that the world will lend us all the money we need to be able to do what we want, because we are exceptional. America, exceptionalism is what's going to carry the day for us. In the meantime, in the last 3 weeks, with all this tariff nonsense and that big chart, that big, beautiful chart that you know who held up, guess what China's been doing? Guess what Canada's been doing? Guess what the EU's been doing? They've been making trade deals with everybody else but the United States, because the rest of the world has figured out, well, if the United States is going to be completely unpredictable and unreliable militarily, why are we putting our hooks with these guys? Pointless. The Brits did the right thing. The UK made a trade deal with America last week. Of course, the UK press ripped it to shreds, as they should have, as Americans should have ripped it to shreds, but didn't, because the US press is half owned by the Republicans and half not, and the other half is under threat. And so Americans didn't get the full story about the UK deal with all the potholes in that deal. And at the end of the day, it's $5 billion of trade between two countries. $5 billion of trade between the United States and the UK. You know what that is? 1 day of trading with Canada. $5 billion a day goes between Canada and the UK. The UK deal is a nothing burger. And that deal is a shitty deal, because it didn't bring it back to where it was. Nowhere near where it was. And so going forward, the outside world is going, why negotiate with these morons? We'll put on a show and we'll talk to them. We'll talk to the old man and his old his billionaire cronies. But at the end of the day, we're making side deals with everybody else. And the Swiss have figured out we're better off dealing with Canada directly and Mexico directly rather than with the three together. We'll do pharmaceutical arrangements and high-tech arrangements. The South Koreans are saying to the Canadians, oh, you need jet fighters. You need new jet fighters? We make a jet fighter. It's pretty damn good. You're never going to get the jet fighter America makes. Even if you can buy from America, they're not going to sell you their most advanced jet fighter. America sells Canada a jet fighter that's 85% as good as the one America has, because after all, it's national security, you know. The Koreans are going, we got one that's 85, 90% at like half the price. Why don't you negotiate or consider talking to us about getting yourself a new jet fighter? Don't mind me, I need a plug. I'm running out of power on my big ass iPad. Anyway, there we go. Canada has been negotiating and has been approached by everybody else for that $5 billion a day of business you guys do with the Americans. Hey, why don't you reduce that to $4 billion a day and do $1 billion a day with us out here? And we don't have to worry about these American guys. Let the old man come up with a rant and a rave and get off the toilet and be pissed off at one. You don't care. You don't have to worry about this guy anymore. It's attractive to a lot of Canadian business people, very attractive, because they don't like uncertainty. Who does? I can't imagine Americans like it either. In any event, if you're a 50%er in America, demographically or less, you have nothing to get happy about today. If you're a 50% or over, you have partial hope that there might be an improvement on the mess that has been created so far, but it hasn't been repaired. And at the end of the day, what can you hope for when it's all said and done? There'll be a baseline 10% tariff left in place between the US and the rest of the planet, which is a tripling of the tax rate that Americans used to pay to bring product into the United States. That means a 300% tax increase on every single American for everything, period, coming in. That's sucking out trillions of dollars out of the U.S. economy into the U.S. Treasury to then give it to the 1%ers who elected, guess who? The kids in the White House and all of their advisors, including the entire cabinet. That's the reality. The outside world knows this. The outside world is completely aware of it. They have been paying attention. Most Americans inside America, and I mean most Americans, not my viewers, not you guys, the ones I'm talking to, not you guys. You're aware. You're fully aware, because from me and everywhere else, you're understanding this. But 99% of Americans out there are utterly clueless, and they will never want to know. And I guess that is the secret too. Let's get to the quick here. You're an option writer. That's why you're here with me. You want to make money writing options. You're just saying to Uncle Bruce, stop talking politics, but I understand why you have to mention it, because it kind of affects everything. Like this morning, the 1,000 point run up this morning has nothing to do with business. It has everything to do with politics. That's a 1,000 point move today. And as option writers, you better understand why this market is up 1,000 points. It's not because Americans are good business people. No, it's because they were getting screwed by their own administration, and now they're getting less screwed, but still screwed by their own administration. The rest of the world knows it. We're outside looking in going, we can't believe what they do to themselves. We can't understand how they let themselves do this. Why do they have to pay for health care? Why do they have to pay for college? Why do they do this to each other? Why are rich Americans so mean and nasty to poor Americans? The rich call the poor lazy. The lazy Americans, the bottom 20%, are struggling to survive, haven't been given a fair shot, or have had stuff taken away from them. There are abusers to the system. Let's not kid ourselves. But 99% of Americans are great people, and they've been getting it in the rear end from their own upper class. This used to be the norm in England. This used to be the norm up until the 50s and 60s in England, where if you were born to a family that lived in Manchester, you are a bum. If you were born to a family in a certain district in London, you are the chosen ones. That all ended through the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. But oh, did Britain go through turmoil and upheaval and riots in the streets. And oh my God, America hasn't got there yet. It's when the bottom 30%, 40% of Americans have had enough and say no to their own government. It's when Americans are no longer afraid of their own government. That's when things change. But right now, Americans are terrified of their own government because their own government puts thugs on the streets with balaclavas, bullet vests, stab vests, tasers, pistols, and AR-15s to enforce traffic laws and to enforce speeding tickets and to enforce crack taillight and stopping Canadians from going home to Canada for roadside checks just to leave the country. Until Americans no longer fear their own government, you ain't going nowhere. You're not going anywhere because more Americans are now closing up and getting quieter and quieter and won't say much and don't want to talk too much and don't want to cause too much attention because they don't want those vans outside their house. They are convinced there are these unmarked vans coming to their neighborhood to take someone away who said something about the president of the United States. That's what's going on right now. And it's scaring the shit out of Americans. And that's why Americans are absolutely terrified as to what the hell is going on. I'm just a guy in front of a computer in Rancho Mirage, California, where it is beautiful, surrounded by really nice people, beautiful businesses here, hardworking Americans who became Americans in the last 20 years. There are people here in this valley who are descendants of people who were given amnesty by Ronald Reagan in 1983, whatever the hell it was, that said, all those of you who are in the United States and have not committed crimes and have been here for a certain number of years, like 10 years or more, you're now eligible to apply for U.S. citizenship. There are descendants of those people here, because that's 40 years ago, 45 years ago, okay? The descendants here are lawyers, accountants, cops, customs officials, city officials, elected council members, property owners, hardworking, family-oriented people. Everything here is working out, more or less. Is it perfect? No. No. Will it be perfect? No, of course not. What do you think we are? No, that's not going to be. Is it better? Yeah, actually, it is better. It was a real mess in the early 80s around here. Really scary. And yet, here we go again. Unfortunately, until America actually has an immigration policy that works and can be worked out, the party of uncertainty will continue. And right now, there are those Americans, many Americans, who are American, but they don't look American enough. They're terrified to go shopping at their local grocery store, even here. And there are people in the United States who are not comfortable with their law enforcement officials because they don't all play by the same rules. They have their own ways of doing things in their own areas. And I shudder to think, if I didn't look the way I looked, that I would be really nervous about being here. But I kind of look, like a schmuck, white skinned schmuck like everyone else. And so I guess I'm okay. But are Jen and I counting the days to leave? Yep, we really are. We're out of here at the end of the month. We're kind of looking forward to it. And I hate to say that because I love it here a lot. I've heard a rumor. There's a bill in Congress to extend Canadians to 240 days a year. There's a law being proposed by both parties. They both signed on to it to extend the allowable stay for Canadians for 240 days. But then we hear the nightmare stories of Canadians getting grilled coming into the U.S. through the border checks. And now we're hearing about Canadians being inspected on the way out. We got Canadians selling their real estate down here like you can't believe, and in Florida and elsewhere. And I'm kind of going, doesn't make a difference. If you're going to extend the stay to 240 days, a lot of Canadians aren't going to even bother coming down anyway. They're just not coming down here because that isn't good enough. No, until the Gestapo look is out of fashion again, and when it is viewed as a Nazi thing by everybody, nothing's going to change. And right now, at the top level of American law enforcement, it's the kick him in the ass and then find the legal reason to kick him in the ass approach. Treat everyone like a criminal and then find out if they're a criminal or not. And don't even say sorry if you screw it up. That's the thinking. And as long as that's the thinking, a lot of folks aren't coming here from Europe or anywhere else. Can you blame them? When you don't feel welcome, why come down? Why bother showing up? Disney will pay the price. Universal will pay the price. The hotel chains will pay the price. The airlines are going to pay the price. The rental car companies are going to pay the price. The cruise lines are going to pay the price. Anyone and everything to do with travel across the USA are going to pay dearly this summer. They're already paying now, but it's going to really go through this entire year into the fall. And if America is going into any kind of an economic recession, which it is, this just compounds it and makes it worse. And the losers, Americans. Americans are the losers, especially the kids, many of who get summer jobs at some of these places to earn some income and meet people from around the world in their own country. They're the losers. Tourists, you got the rest of the world to go and see. So, you can take a year or two, not come to America for a while, delay a trip to America for a couple of years and see Europe, see South America, see Africa, see Asia, go to Australia, New Zealand, wherever. There's plenty of other places to go see mountains and rivers and streams and big cities and skyscrapers and theme parks and taste some exotic foods and non-exotic foods. Just the way it is. Thank you for joining me and tolerating this old fart as I just rant away just the way I am. I'm sorry if I upset any of you on the one hand, I guess, and on the other hand, maybe I'm not that sorry. I mean, should I be sorry for being a guy who just says, hey, I get paid to worry when there's nothing to worry about. And I'm worrying about things. So don't mind me. I'm just worrying about things when there's nothing to worry about. And I'm going to tell you what I think, because I'm allowed to do that. Last I heard, in any event, I'm just a guy, just trying to, trying to get by here. Look, thank you all for joining me today and always joining us. Jen, I so appreciate you. Those of you becoming members of this channel, my gosh, are we grateful that you are part of our family here. Thank you for joining this channel as members. We are honored that you're part of this family as members of this channel. It keeps us on the air, no question about it. It's the only thing that keeps me alive. I certainly don't get paid to be a highfalutin advertiser for any brands out there. We don't have enough viewers for that. But those of you who are here, you're option writers. And as option writers, hey, you've got things to do, things to look over, things to watch for. And the first thing you want to do today is fold your arms, which I know is, for some of you, the hardest thing you've ever done in your lives, is to learn how to fold your arms and let this market just open. Let the market open. Let the market go through its first hour of complete mayhem. Let the right-wing media yap. Let the left-wing media lap. Let the center media yap. Let them all talk and just gauge the reaction of this market. By the way, 198 of you have voted for my question of the day. I appreciate that. 89 thumbs ups. I'm amazed we are anywhere near 100, because when I rant, you guys don't give me thumbs ups. Thank you anyway. 199 votes. I see SoFi shares over $15 by the end of this week. Well, 1404. We only need 96 cents in the next 5 days. Do you think it can happen? 56% say, yeah, I think so. I think you're going to hit 15 a share, Bruce. I think we're going to break 15 a share, because this stock was like 12 something, and then it went right to 13. And now it's right to 14. It doesn't even inch its way up. It just goes there. It just goes up $1 by itself. I can see tomorrow morning opening at 15.25 a share. I can just see that. It doesn't ask for permission to go there. It just goes there. And that's what I suspect too. I think the stock's going to go to 15 and go beyond that because the company is firing on all cylinders and these guys are winners. And I think we are not long away from even more blockbuster announcements of phenomenal progress being made by SoFi. But that's, again, just me, the old man, ranting away with his opinions. Trip Hazard, thank you for becoming a Gold Bagel member this morning. Appreciate you. Welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the familia. Eddie and Aurora, welcome all. Richard, Carlin, Hector, as always. Katie, thank you. Welcome all. Andre Delatorre, Corinne, Double D, Not Your Normal Trader. Thank you all. Emmanuel, welcome to the show. Yeah, the man. Hey, what a good day to buy back all of my $12 cash secured puts on SoFi and buy them back at the end of the week when it pulls back to 12.15 or write them again, I guess, is what you're thinking. Charlie, got big, everybody. Let's go big time. Good morning, everybody. Hi, all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 2021, Bruce. I remember it like yesterday. I do recall this. Good morning. Aaron is here. So is John Harpster. AOD, welcome. Welcome to the party, pal. What else is going on here? Stephen is here. Katie, Splair, throwing people comments back and forth to people. Carl bought Shopify on the dip, and now they're joining the NASDAQ 100. There you go. Whatever happened to the book that Bruce is going to write? I was watching some of his plain English stock market. Yeah, I thought about writing a book. I really thought about it. About every 3 months, I kind of wonder, should I write a book? Then I think to myself, no, I don't think so. I think I'm far more effective to just do my classes and be here because things change all the time and adjust all the time. And a book? I don't know. If Ryan Cohen ever spoke, we think we'd all faint. Mandu is here. Good morning. Aurora is here. Good morning. Thank you. What are folks going to do? Matthew wants to know with their Q spreads. What's going to happen with those call credit spreads? Murray, good morning, everybody from Tokyo. Good morning and good evening. I wonder when the market will take stock of all the issues the remaining tariffs will have on the economy. That's what I'm waiting for. We're up 1,055 on the Dow. I'm wondering when the effect wears off. It might already be happening before we open. We'll see. We'll see. Fentanyl, well, there's always another drug. I guess we have to worry about that. Put credit spreads on the Qs. Maybe that's where we should go. We should go put credit spreads on SPYs and Qs. Anyway, there you have it. What else? Tom, exactly, Waverly. People talking about drug companies and fentanyl and everything else. Sacklers pay a fine. I don't know what this means. James, good morning. Charlie, definitely put spreads on the Q today. The question is how far away. Justine Corona, welcome. Welcome, Charlie. We have to see where it opens in the premium. CKT is here, Not Your Normal Trader. Trump's going to get reelected. That'll drive Bruce crazy. There you go. Charlie, maybe a 496, 498 as it opens. We'll see what happens. Peter, Uncle Bruce, you're getting way too crazy. Politics is really affecting you. There you go. I get these comments all the time from people who just, whatever you say, if you say the sky is blue, you are a socialist. There you go. Who's Geraldo without hair? Is that me? John T. I was thinking call credit spreads on the Qs might make it go higher. I think a pullback will happen near the end of the day. Anyway, there you go. Vilbus, common sense centrist stuff is crazy to you right-wingers. Well, there you go. Anyway, it is what it is. John, I might sit out these zero date expiries today. I might just sit those up. Matthew's thinking, maybe that's what I'll do. Let's see. There's plenty of stories out there about how small businesses are getting hammered and laying off people, closing up shop. That's true. What else is going on? People have got all kinds of comments of my personal opinions, whatever. Mike is laughing. Jeff is here. You're wrong, my friend. Thank you. Jeff, businessman, laughing out loud. What else? There's dementia. Don has no freaking clue what he's doing. He goes one to the other. Amy is here. Good morning. What else? What else? Tony, just keep on writing, Bruce. Just keep on writing. Yeah, let's just keep going. Let's just go past all kinds of commentary about politics if we can. I don't know. Anyway, Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. What else is going on? John T, can you explain the difference between futures and options? Well, futures trading is pre-market, post-market. Options trading is during market. That might be the best way to do it. Anyway, I don't know. Let's see. Bad boy, what you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boy, bad boy. Okay, there you go. I bet you're going to be back in the USA next year, Uncle Bruce. Well, boy, I'd like to. I love it here. I think Americans are the best. It's great. Love Canadians too, you know, but you got palm trees down here. Kind of like it. And anyway, I'm just, you know, doing what I can. Welcome all. Yeah, fun times. Eric, thank you, Eric. All good, Uncle Bruce. It's your channel, your choice to stay. Our choice to stay. It's your channel. I always say if you can't take criticism of your own party, don't criticize others. So there you go. John T. So I opened an account at Robinhood with 10 grand so I could do 0 days to expiry trading. When I used my Fidelity account on Friday, Robinhood closed my my 0 day to expiry half hour before close. I was 484 at 486 and the price was 488. So you're doing fine. They were essentially worthless. What ended up happening? I asked why they closed out. It was due to risk. I would have been fine. I may need to add more money to prevent it from happening again. You might need another broker. You might need to look somewhere else. Again, I don't know. Ricardo, you know what, Bruce? I like your rants. John T, thank you. There you go. Again, John, you know, I can't speak for any of these firms because, you know, I don't deal with them. I can't deal with them, being a Canadian anyway. But you gotta check out the rest of the thing. Maybe for those of you who are Gold Bagel members of this channel, bingo. If you want to be part of the Discord group, you can always send me an email. Send me a private email. Tell me your email. Tell me your Gold Bagel name, and I'll send you some linkage information so you can become part of the Discord group. And at the Discord group, where a lot of the Gold Bagel members hang out, ask around to the gang, hey, what's the best firm to use regarding this kind of trading, including 0 days to option trading? Who do you find is the best or the worst? And what are your experiences? And you may find, you know, some answers to this predicament. I don't know what to say about that. I wish I could. I don't know. You know, the morning isn't complete without a Uncle Bruce rant, you know, and a bagel, you know, there you go. Thank you. Look, we're up 1,016 points. We're not going anywhere now. We have this 1,000-point gain has been around now for 2 hours. Now there will be an opening, and it'll be somewhere between 600 and 1,600. It might be 1,000. 15 minutes later, I don't know where it is. An hour into the market, I don't know where it'll be. We're up 2.45%. That is the Dow. The S&P is up 2.9%, and the Nasdaq is up 3.77. It was up 4.5. It had been higher than this. Okay. There is bad news out there. There's still bad news. Some of the drug stocks are not doing well because Trump is talking about an executive order to make drug companies price their drugs at the global average that they charge everyone else. Well, that isn't a law. That isn't enforceable. It has to be enforced by laws, Congress, Senate, and there's no way that's going to happen because those two houses are owned by the super PACs that are funded by the pharmaceutical and hospital business. There's no way they're going to do that. You know how many former Congress people are now in senior positions at drug companies and board of directors of drug companies and are flown wherever they want to go in the world on private jets paid for by you suckers in America that fund these drug companies. Look, once a congressperson, always a winner. This is a lottery ticket for a lot of people. You become a congressperson and you can get reelected 3 or 4 times. You can get your way into the committees that are overseeing the pharmacare business in America. Oh my God, have you won the lottery for life? You just vote the way those guys want you to vote for them. You have got yourself set up with stock options, jobs. Your relatives are going to get jobs. Oh my God, it's as good as it gets, I tell you. Then again, if you don't believe me, you're going to have to do your own research and Call me a liar. I'm just whatever. What can I say? Charlie says, same here, John T. They closed my position early. It would have died worthless. Instead, they forced me to buy back at 6 cents. I should have put in a buyback stink at 0.1. Might not have happened if it was a buyback bid set. John, they forced me to buy back at 13 when I got 20. I still made 7. I had a buyback at 2, but they still did it. Oh, geez, Charlie's going, oh. See, again, you may be with the wrong firm. It just, I don't know. I don't know what these rules are with these individual firms. You got to do some homework on who's the best to use. This proposed price cut is only for prescription drugs, by the way, Lisa says. There's a whole load of non-prescription medicine priced very high. There you go. I do remember that before Trump was elected, there were Americans driving into Canada to buy insulin in Canada from pharmaceutical stores to take back to America because the cost was 1/4 the price of insulin, which is a nothing burger to make. Insulin has been around for decades and decades. It's not an exotic drug. It is like a saline solution. It is so basic that it should be available for like $1 a shot. Like it should be virtually free. And yet under the Biden administration, they ran through and forced through, I believe it was a $30 maximum that you pay for this stuff, which was still higher than Canada, but at least, not $175 or $200. Americans could now at least afford 90 days at a time insulin injection. Trump got rid of that. That's one of the first things he killed was the $30 thing. It's the first thing he killed. Call me a liar if you want, but I think I'm right. I'm just saying. Yeah, AA says here, when you have a chance, listen to season 4, episode 10, Against the Rules by Michael Lewis, online gambling among young people. And he gave a 17-year-old son $5,000 to try online gambling, and he documents it. Yikes. Can imagine. I shudder to think how many American youth there are, how many young people in America under 30, okay, as a general, classification, from 15 to 30, how many of these kids going into post-secondary education, hopefully to get into college, know that when they get out, okay, at age 15, 16, 17, they know when they go into college in a few years and then they come out of it later, they know they're going to be $250,000 in debt. They know because their older brother, their older sister has already done, or a cousin, a relative or a neighbor. They've heard the word and they talk in high school to their pals. And one of their friends goes, oh yeah, my brother graduates next year and he's $200,000 in debt. And his best paying job, the best offer he got for his job with his new career, he's going to get $60,000 a year. And he's only going to be able to pay $1,000 a month for the student loan. And the interest is $1,000 a month. I mean, there's no way he can pay it off with his starting wage. 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old children, boys and girls, are faced with that knowledge in America. So why do you think they take fentanyl at their pal's house when their mom and dad go away for the weekend? Why do you think they want to just get high and forget about everything? Because they're already panicked about what's waiting for them upon entering school. You get a free ride, you get a so-called scholarship, that's great. What about your rent, your food, transportation budget? Where's that coming from? That you still got to work on the side. You still got to, the pressure is unbearable. You get out of school and you're now in debt, no matter what degree. You owe $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, whatever that is. And the jobs just aren't there for you. It's just, there is no $200,000 a year job waiting for you. Okay, there's a middle class job waiting for you that you are subject to overtime rules and everything else. You have nothing to say about it, and you could be fired at any time. Good luck with that. Talk about pressure. So what do you do on weekends? You get hammered. You either just get drunk as hell, or you take other substances to relieve the pressure. Giddy up. Wow. Like, all you see and all we hear about are people who've made it, the winners of the world, because that's what TV shows are all about. That's what movies are all about. We see the happy stories of the top 10 percenters, children of top 10 percenters who get $200,000 a year starting positions, or 120,000, and in 3 years they're making 150, and they get, yeah. And then there's the other 90% out there who can't get a break to save their butts, and they're farther behind, and are realizing that there is no American dream for them. There's an American nightmare for them called lifetime indebtedness to an organization called the U.S. government through the education department, through these loans, which are sponsored and put up by private enterprise, who have, through super PAC donations, ensured that if you declare personal bankruptcy in the United States, you are not forgiven your student loans, ever. That's all baked in. And so these kids figure this out pretty damn quick. It never goes away, and it's on your record forever. Try to get a mortgage. Try to get a car loan. It's almost smarter for high school kids not to go to college, to only take community colleges and learn a trade, because you're going to be employed instantly as an apprentice. You earn while you learn. But in the reality of things, it might be even better for parents who know their kids have a mathematical aptitude of some kind. Maybe show your kids how option writing works. You might find that you've got an option writer among those 4 kids of yours. One of those kids is an option writer savant. You had no idea that they would take to this, because they don't teach this in school. They don't teach option writing in school. You get that kid some classes, and this kid goes, I've already watched his first 4 classes. I want to watch the rest of them. And they're going to pop up those apps on their phones. They're going to set up these practice accounts, and they're going to start trading, and they're going to show you how they make money in options trading. There may well be in your house right now a savant that is an option writing savant. You had no clue. I'm just saying. Just a guy, Stephen Butler. Hello there, number 113. There you go. Gambling, advertising everywhere. No kidding. Talk about it being mainstream, right? Yeah. This guy, AA, saying he wrote The Big Short, by the way, this guy. Phenomenal. Could you do me a favor, AA? Would you mind sending me an email with a link to this thing? Because all this messaging here goes away as soon as I get off the air. So, I mean, I can track it down, but I have to go through every message. Would you mind sending me an email? I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I hate watching sport now with all the commentators and all this crap. I agree. I think it shouldn't be on the air whatsoever. But then governments are addicted to cash, and they'll get it any way they can. So there you have it. MSTR announced that they bought another 13,390 Bitcoin. Like clockwork, every Monday morning they make these announcements. I wonder when GameStop announces their Bitcoin plan. When will GameStop say anything? I'm with you there. Completely with you, dude. We're on the same page here. Many of you, thank you. We open in 2 minutes. 2 minutes we start trading. Get ready for the party. We're going to start opening up. We'll see what this market has. Find out really what this market really is going to do. We closed on Friday on SoFi. The Friday close was $13.18. The high on Friday for SoFi was $13.46. That was the high on Friday at one point in time, which was the opening, the first half hour of Friday. SoFi right now, $14 in the last minute of trading pre-market. So it might open at $13.50, $13.80, $13.90, $14.10. Maybe it'll open at $14.25 right off the gate. I don't know. Let's see what happens. The higher the better. Yeah, the higher the better. Okay, we'll see what's going on. Beach Boy, there's nothing going on. Like you said, Bruce, there's just nothing going on. Another boring day, just like in 2021, when the markets wouldn't even move 1%. For like almost a year, the markets wouldn't move more than 1%. It's so boring, Bruce. Boy, are you right. John T., when I was younger, I went to Vegas and bet on football. One year I made over 12 grand, and the next I lost about 12 grand. It hurt as I had to spend the 12 grand. Glad I got it out of my system years ago. I have a fear. There are young kids, 40, there are not just kids. I fear There are Canadians, Americans, Brits, Germans, 50 years and younger who are in debt to their credit cards for thousands of dollars of online sports bets. I believe. I believe people have taken cash advances, put them in their accounts, their checking and savings accounts, and then shifted it over to their online gambling habits. And I believe there are millions of people paying 24% interest on debit balances, cash advance balances on credit cards from sports betting losses. I'm convinced of it, and it is the biggest kept secret in the market. It's not being shared because it's not good. Larry, thanks again, buddy, for the bells. Larry Titus has done what Larry Titus does so well. DHALA, Andrea, neat emojis coming out. Absolutely. John T, one good thing about California is they prohibit online gambling. Still can do it, but it's not as easy to do. I worry that as states become very, very cash strapped, because the government of the United States is becoming cash strapped, this is going to get worse. It's going to get much worse. How many university students are gambling online on their university teams? Basketball, football, basketball, you name it, hockey, any sport. I worry about this year's NFL. The entire league is dependent on gambling without any question whatsoever. There's this team in Vegas, I think. They're dependent on gamblers. The NHL, they've done it. Baseball's doing it. They're going into Vegas. It's only a matter of time when a basketball team shows up in Las Vegas. It's only a matter of time. Boeing Tiger, thank you for the knee emojis. Mike, I lost 1,200 with DraftKings, had enough and deleted the app. There you go. That's why that stock still survives. Welcome all to the party. Become an option writer. Be a casino. Do what DraftKings does, but in the option writing world, write options that are out of the money, that have no value except time premium, and get paid to wait. You're going to be around, I hope, anyway. Let's get rich. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining me from around the world. Thank you for becoming members of this channel, renewing your membership of this channel. Thank you for those of you who moved into classes. Congratulations. If you've gone to my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca, and you're learning how to write options, I say congratulations. You are the real deal with Bill McNeil. You're the real deal. You're going for it. You're not satisfied being a bottom 50%er in America or Canada or anywhere else. You want to join the upper 10% of the demographic of your country? Learn how to write stock options. Forget about looking for pie in the sky stocks going to the moon. Write options and take 500 a day off the table. Take 800 a day off the table. Take 1,000 a day off the table. Take 1,500 a day off the table. That is 30,000 a month, 360,000 US a year. You're a 10%er by far. Get with the program and start right here. That's where lessons are waiting for you. 18 lessons. I can't make it any easier than that. I've been doing this since 2021, begging you to take classes, learn how to write options, and start taking money away from the gamblers. Bagel Babe, I have a friend who lost over 40 grand in sports betting. He's addicted. There are many of them. There are many of them. Charlie, neat, Mike H. Bagel Babe, yikes. I shudder to think how many parents out there, parents and grandparents, have bailed out their children and grandchildren through some money and or allowing them to stay in their house, in their basement of their house, rent-free while they try to rebuild their lives because they're addicted to gaming. I am convinced there are millions of examples of this. It is the unspoken nightmare, the disease that has permeated the Western world and has taken young people who are destitute right out of college. They're broke, and they're now desperate to win a quick $1,000 on a sports game or 10 or whatever bets, and they're getting deeper and deeper in the hole, only to find that they can't even get out of their parents' house. I shudder to think. And then there are those who are under a bridge somewhere. I bet you there are people living under highways in America that have cell phones that are still sports betting from a cardboard box underneath an expressway. And they're out on the street begging for money during the day They get their 10, 20, 30 bucks. They put it into an ATM machine, and then they sports bet 10, 15 bucks of it every night. I bet you that's going on. I'm certain of it. I'm certain of it. It is scary. ESPN has shows dedicated to betting. It's really sad. Yes, it is. It is incredibly scary. And it's all legal. And it's government generated for revenues. The governments are addicted to gasoline taxes, alcohol taxes, cigarette taxes, and gambling taxes from the lotteries and sports betting. It's your community driving the community forward or backward. We can only look at ourselves. That's all you can do. You've got to take care of your house, your lives. And so become an option writer. Be the draft king. Be the writer of contracts. Be the one who sells contracts first and buys them back, if at all, for very little money. There you go, everybody. Welcome to the party, everybody. I think SoFi is $13.80 right now in the open market. I think that's where it's at. Still up 62 cents. We may have this little dip and then a rally. I don't know what SoFi will end up doing today, but it could head for 15 at any time, because why dump the company? This company has never been affected by tariffs. They're only going to make a whole bunch of money this quarter and every quarter going forward. So SoFi is SoFi. We're up 8 on GameStop, and ASTS is up $1.15. The Dow's up 966 points at the moment. Rocket Lab is up 70. MSTR, believe it or not, down $2.14 a share, but it's had a good run lately with $414 a share. No kidding. AI up 83. SMCI is up 269 right now. Here we are. Yeah, 284 actually. AI up 72. NVIDIA up $5. Tesla up 1667 at $315 a share. Spiders are up 1487. We'll watch that. Qs are up $16. We'll watch for that. Palantir up 49 cents. Costco down $14. Coinbase up $12.30. SmartRent up 4 cents to 89 cents a share. Google up $5. Apple's up $9.97. We've got Broadcom up $9.30. Microsoft up $2.50. Intel up 70 cents. Netflix down $19.97 at $1,120. Meta up $31, $623, $624 range, big run there. EI Lilly up $192, Amazon up $14.80, Uber up $50, Adobe up $13.86 at $397, Cisco up $158, AMD $109.33. Finally through that 100 barrier with a little bit of a cushion, up $640 this morning. Unity up $120, Enphase up $162, back to $52.40. Spire up 8 cents, $9.91. Moderna up $174. Pfizer up 56 cents. IBM down to $220. HPQ up $220. Home Depot's up $15. Vanik up $12. Goldman up $32. Big move for Goldman today. We got Boeing up $1. Target up $6. JP Morgan up $8.59. Walmart down 21 cents. Disney down $3.60. American Airlines up 87 cents. DraftKings up $2.30. AMC up 7 cents. Royal Caribbean up $13.54. Welcome to the party, pal. Glad to have you with us. We're up 1,005 on the Dow, 146 on S&P. That's about 2.5% for these guys, roughly. 3.4% gain on the NASDAQ, 616 points. That is a percentage lower than earlier today. We're down about 185, 200 points from its best reading of the morning. The VIX is down 234, positive. We're back to 1955 on the VIX. And we've got gold down $102 an ounce at 32.40 range. And we have oil up about $2 at 63.14. That's what we have at the moment. Bagel Beb says, Uncle Bruce, my boss was unhappy with my team's performance. Said, why would I have you all do it if you can't do it right? I might as well do it myself. Financial independence can't come soon enough. And there you go. No question about it. I cannot agree more with any of you out there who are faced with this kind of BS from your employers. Your employers actually think that you're the problem. when you're the solution to their issues. You're the asset. You're the thing the company strives with. They totally turn it against you and make you feel inferior, or try to make you feel inferior. They scare hardworking people into fearing for their jobs when there's no need to whatsoever. And this is the way it was for decades, where employees were afraid of their bosses, and until COVID came along. And people realized, well, I kind of like working from home. I'm going to look for another job instead of go back to the office. In some cases, people found out, I heard that so-and-so left and got a job over there for 20% more money. Maybe I should go over there too. And that changed things. Babe, I felt like that kind of language was not necessary. Fidelity has never spoken to me that way. Ha. There you go. Yes, you're loved by your brokers. You should be loved by your brokers. I sure hope you feel that way. But again, you've got to make sure you're with the right broker wherever you are. But Bagel Babe, yes, got to get away from that attitude, that environment, that vibe. So defeating, so negative. How dare they? Yeah, some boss this is. Thank you all for joining me. 13.79 on SoFi, up 61 cents now. 13.82. We just jumped a little bit. We're up 64. The volume in the first 11 minutes for SoFi is 9.7 million, much higher than lately. All last week, I don't think we even had 2 or 3 million shares by now. We're at almost 10 million on the opening salvo for your SoFi. There's nothing for sale down here. The sellers got out. The ones who were scared out, who got knocked out, who were margined out, 850, 885 a month and a half ago, whatever that was, back in early April when the whole chart thing came out and all. They're gone. They're gone, and they've been replaced by solid cash holders of this stock. And how many people bought SoFi between $9 and $12 a share, and they used margin to buy it, and now they're at $13.84. Their margin is getting bigger and bigger. They're looking great. So there's that too. Cash secured put buyers, congratulations. Monitor your trades, monitor your contracts, and let's see where it goes. Okay, we're down 16 on GameStop. We're up $1 on ASTS. Rocket Lab up 111 right now. MSTR has gone green. It's up 36 cents. We're up 59 on AI. Crazy 49er. So on Friday, my Qs, 485.87 spread, getting a little tight near the end of the day. So I rolled it to today, and I got another 31 cents. This bump on the Qs at the open allowed me to stink at 11 cents to hit this sucker. Well done indeed. Well done. That must have been a put credit spread, I guess. Interesting stuff. Never a dull moment. Yeah, with 502.96 on the Qs, and you're sitting at 485.87. I have a suspicion that they stunk out beautifully. Well done. Well done. And there's the name of the game there. Spiders are up 14.23. They're at 578. They got up to 581 today. We're now at 578. And the triple Qs, they got up to 507. They're now at 502.80. So they backed off a bit so far from their highs. And the Dow is holding 1,029 or something like that. We'll watch closely, of course. Oh my goodness. Okay. Andrea just bought back my 185, 182.5 poor man covered calls. Sorry, a put credit spread. I'm sorry. I just bought back my put credit spreads on Apple that I wrote on Friday. I got a 95% return on my money. Nice. Where did you learn to do that, Andrea? Where did you pick up this one? Crazy 49er, where have you learned to write these credit spreads? Where on earth did you figure this out? Oh my goodness. I love my casinos. Oh boy. Charlie, nice going, crazy 49er. I mean, even those of you who've been forced to buy back, you won anyway. It's not fair. I agree it's not right, but okay. Check for another broker. That's all I can suggest. I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe you don't have enough capital lying around to keep your broker happy. I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm just a guy going, here's how credit spreads work. Can you make it work for you? And there you have it. Andrea, I think it was. It might have been thanks to you. Not sure. You might have had something to do with it. I sure hope so. I get pumped up when I'm so charged up on weekends when I think about what happened last week with you guys and what you were doing and letting me know what your trades were about, and I get the private email updates. I tell you, I am just, I am really pumped up, and I'm excited for you guys. Crazy 49 or some ranting lunatic showed me how to do this. He's a wild man. Bobby, well, my put spreads all bought back at 1 cent. Giddy up, baby. There you go, Bobby. Giddy up, making money. Casinos cashing in this morning, taking the last of the chips off the table and giving the gamblers a couple of pennies back get lost. Thank you very much. Now to let the hot air of the weekend to cool off. Exactly. Let's give this market a little time to sort of settle itself down a bit. Giddy up, everybody, and welcome to the party. Congratulations, option writers. You make money here. You really do. This is beautiful. Tom, I forgot. I wrote $20 puts on Rocket Lab on Friday. They're looking pretty good right now. Up 113 on the stock, 21.64. Your contracts are out of the money. Nice going, Bagel Babe. Don't forget, he's homeless too, you know. This poor Canadian, he's got nothing. He can't even shave. Look, he doesn't have money to shave. He's such a bum. What a guy. Andrea now just opened a call credit spread on Meta. 552, 550, expiring in 4 days on Meta. So Friday expiry. What is Meta doing here? 625 is where the stock is. And Andrea just wrote that would be a put credit spread, wouldn't it? I have a suspicion that might be a put credit spread at 552, 550, well behind the stock. You let us know. Charlie just sold 7 triple Qs, 494, 496. I just wrote those. Triple Q, 503 right now, and he's at 494, 496, well behind those contracts. So you're doing puts, staying behind the market. As long as it stays above 496, that 19 cents is yours. It's doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it's $19 on a $200 trade. Almost 140 bucks, 139 something dollars. Sorry, Andre. Yes, sorry. No, I wrote actually call credit spreads, but they were 662, 650s, not 552s. So those metas, where are we at on that meta again? You have to forgive me. I'm jumping around. Okay, 624 is where the stock's at. Almost 625, 662 and a half to 650. Okay, so you're ahead of the market, out of the money on the calls, 4 days, and now you're looking for them to die. I got you, Andrea. I love it. I hope you got a nice, big, fat, juicy credit. Where did you learn to do that? Where did you watch some kind of a YouTuber or something? Where have you learned these tricks, you kids? Where do you figure this stuff out? Steven, since I retired, I shave about once a week now, whether I need it or not, laughing out loud. Yeah, I have to admit, I used to shave every day in my life. Occasionally I'd skip a day or two, but maybe a day. But now, even on air, like knowing I'm live, I just cannot shave every day. No way. No, I can't do that. Jeff, hey, I took a 66% profit on a $12.50 cash secured puts on SoFi that I wrote on Friday. May 23rd expiry. That's still 11 days from now. Just closed them out this morning, Jeff. Where did you learn to do this, Jeff? Where are you kids learning this stuff from? Crazy. Once a week, I'm close to 2 or 3 a week, or when my wife yells at me. I shave when she yells, but yes, shaving and writing contracts. You know what's the best part about being a self-employed option writer? You don't have to worry about shaving every day if you're a guy, and if you're a gal, you don't have to worry about putting makeup on to do your first trade of the day. You're at home, you got your coffee, your tea, whatever you're enjoying, and you're writing from the comfort of wherever you are in your place. I say giddy up and congratulations, all of you. Auntie Jen is alive. She's going to hit the light switches shortly and shut them all off because she's blinded by the sunshine this morning. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us. Jeff Glass says, "Where did I learn to do all this option writing stuff? I bought some classes from a homeless Canadian guy who rants and raves every morning, has very little hair, and is homeless with his hot wife. How that is allowed to happen in this world, we have no idea." Richard Carlin, good morning. Auntie Jen. Andrea says, 662 and a half to 665 call credit spreads on Meta. They expired in 4 days. Sorry, Uncle Bruce. I keep writing the wrong numbers. Laugh out loud. I need to get some coffee in me. Just make sure that when you do the trade, it's the correct trade. Okay, just make sure. Yes, get yourself caffeinated. Caffeinated. Yes, be on top of it. Indeed. Welcome all to the party, pal. Yeah, those of you who want to write, call credit spreads with these markets as high as they are, you write way above this market. Dare the market to go towards record highs to give you some trouble. There you go, Andrea. Yeah, I got you, Uncle B. Yes, you're right. I better be getting my caffeine going when I make sure I trade, for sure. 1383 on the SoFi. We're up 65 cents. So in the pre-market, we were 14 to 14.15. We could well be here any moment. We've traded now on SoFi 12.9, call it 13 million shares in 21 minutes, much higher than lately. So that's a good sign. GameStop has gone green again. It's now up 2 cents. We're up 125 on ASTS. We're up $1.03 on Rocket Lab. MSTR up 70 cents. AI up 67. Supermicro up 248 now at 34.47, having a good run. Nvidia up 490. Tesla up 16 bucks. Spiders are up 14.97 at 579. The high of the day, 581.70. We're watching for that. Again, if you're going to write call credit spreads on Spiders, you want to be, can you be at 600 or higher? Is that possible for one-day expiry? I don't know. But the far ahead as you can be would be good. We'll see if the stock has any more oomph in it, though. It's at 1,016 right now for the Dow, and 148 gain on S&P and NASDAQ up 623. The Qs are up $16 to 504. The high was 507. The low 502. Are we near high? Can you write 115, 120s? Is that possible? I don't know. Somewhere in that 115, 125 neighborhood for short-term expiry date. You check it out. We'll see what's going on. Stephen Butler, Crazy 49. My wife won't let me go past 1 week without shaving. I started looking like a wino. No offense to any winos out there, but I get that wino look. She says I look like a wino. Walter, good morning, Auntie Jen. Thumbs ups. Number 131. Road trip home today from a Mother's Day weekend out. Thank you all. Welcome back. Congratulations, those of you who are able to go traveling and get out a little bit and come back and keep on writing and get richer. Kids, you keep up the good work. I love you. Thank you all so much for following us here. We want you to get rich. Nothing personal. Just want to get rich. Courage 49er, laughing out loud. Stephen Butler. No offense to winos. There you go. Giddy up, kids. 1,059-point gain on the Dow. SoFi now at 1388, up 70. It's trying to get up to a little high, 1391 now. We're trying to get to that 14 level. It could well blow right through it. It could go to 1425 in the next 15 minutes. There does not seem to be resistance here. There seems to be a bona fide interest in picking up SoFi here. Because those in the know are very aware the stock is underpriced. Sorry, but it is. There you go. GameStop, 1 penny below the break-even level, 27.54. ASTS now up 144. Rocket Lab up 106. MSTR up $1.40. AI up 78 cents. Welcome all. Now, our question of the day, the actual question of the day is, I see SoFi shares over $15 by the end of the week. We have 268 people who've answered this question already. 60% saying, you know what, Bruce, the way this thing is rolling, I think it will be over 15 before the end of the week. I myself wonder if it'll be over 15 tomorrow morning, first thing, before we even start trading in the pre-market. I wonder if that might already be happening. Are we now going to go up into $1 increments back to 18 bucks? I wonder if that's already baked in. 268 answers. 60-40 say yeah, no. 136 thumbs ups are now on the board. I thank you for that. If any of you can hit the thumbs up button for us, it would be much appreciated. It helps the channel get a little more exposure. Anything would help, I'll tell you right now. Thank you all so very much. Thanks again to all of you out there who have become members of this channel, subscribers to this channel. Thank you for letting us stick around a while and not giving YouTube any reason to kill us. Thank you for allowing us to stay on the air with YouTube. Really, really much appreciated. All right, guys. Fan-double-tastic. You gotta love this game. I sure hope you're having fun out there and you're getting richer. That's what we want to hear. Okay. Thank you again for joining me. I'm just double checking my junk emails. Get junk emails you cannot believe. Unbelievable. Scary out there. Welcome all. We are holding a 1,049 point gain on the Dow. SoFi 1384, trying to get back to that 14 level that we saw in the pre-market today. We've got GameStop off 6 cents, ASTS up 130, Rocket Lab up 92, MSTR down 45 cents, AI up 70 centinos. Thank you again for joining this channel, everybody. Lovely to have you here. Cannot thank you enough. I try. We're up to the 144 on the thumbs up meter. Thanks, guys. Coming through for me there. We are going to see how this market does here. We have more to watch. We have probably got all kinds of commentary coming out today. You're going to likely hear from winners, losers, and lunatics about the deal between if there is such a deal between China and the U.S. That's Jen says it's a 90-day relax thing. There you go. Yep, we've talked about that here. So be careful out there. There may be wild 200 to 300 point Dow swings from program trading, computer program trading, certain shills who will take the time to find the right moment to say something and try to get it promoted. So kind of, be ready and just fold your arms and relax. It's all fine. We're about 1,007 now on the Dow. We were just under 1,000 a moment ago. We're up 144 on the S&P, and we're up 609 on NASDAQ. The VIX down 273 at the moment. Gold is down $92 an ounce. Oil up $1.97. Okay. Thank you all for joining us from wherever you are today. Much appreciated. I have also noted, and I've noticed, as I'm sure you've heard, if you pay attention to this stuff, interest rates are a little higher for U.S. Treasuries, 4.45%. The U.S. dollar has risen this morning against the euro. It's now down from 113 to 111 range. We've got the yen also falling against the American dollar. It was as low as 141, now 148. You get 148 yen to the dollar, so that's a gain for America. 2.7 cents today. The pound got into the 131 level this morning. We were in the 133 area, 134 area. Bitcoin is something along 104,000 or so. We haven't gone up massively today, but what a run in the last 2 weeks. 104, 449, kind of unchanged right now on Bitcoin. Okay, that's the story. I'm sticking to it, everybody. Welcome all to the show. Christina, I got about 70 grand ready to jump on something. I was looking for the 1,030 dip maybe to get into something, or the 1030 time frame maybe. Charlie, so close to my overall account being green again. Lorraine, number 135. Well, what's good about this, Charlie, is that you don't need a record high market to be green again. So many investors out there, those people way over there, they need the market to reach new all-time highs to break even again, to kind of get back to where they once were. Around here, with depreciating contracts and time depreciation and new positions being written depending on which direction the market goes, you guys need a partial recovery. And the next thing, you're already green and the stock wants to get closer to where it was. You're way in the green and you keep making money whichever direction this thing wants to go with. Giddy up, everybody. Welcome to the party, pals. Lorraine says, I'm number 135 on that options, on that thumbs up meter, Uncle Bruce. Thank you, Lorraine. Welcome to you. Good morning. Wherever you are, Atlanta, New York, wherever, anywhere in between. 995 gain on the Dow as we're flirting with this 1,000-point level right at the moment. Psychological. We'll see how long it can hold 1,000 if it wants to give up some ground from there. 610-point gain on NASDAQ. A little more slippage here. 145 on S&P. There might be a little more slippage. We'll watch for that. We shall see. Oil up $1.99 a barrel, and on gold down $94 an ounce, $3,249 an ounce after hitting $3,500. There you go. Nickel and dime at a time, and the account grows, says Charlie. You figured out a secret, haven't you? You figured out something from your end that really works for you. You're nickel and diming your way to riches. You fast forward yourself. Look at what you've done in the last 2, 3, 4 weeks with nickel and dime trades. Now extrapolate that forward 3 or 4 months, and now figure out where you're at. This is serious money. Some of you out there have been lucky enough and willing to do some trading on credit spreads, puts, calls that expire today or tomorrow or whatever, and you're noticing, you know, Uncle Bruce, I'm finding it fairly easy to make $150, $250 a day writing 0 day to expiry contracts. $150 a day, $750 a week. That's $3,000 a month. That's a big chunk of what I make at work. Now, for those of you who are pulling in $250 a day and more, but at $250 a day, that is $1,250 a week average. That is $5,000 a month. $250 a day for 5 days a week is $5,000 a month. That, for some of you, is more than you make after tax at work. Anything over $250 a day, $300, $350, $400, I would surmise that 90% of you here don't make that at your day job. Once you start generating $12,000 a month into your hands, you're on another level. And think of this: Charlie alone started with $1,000 doing credit spreads, and now he's doing $1,400 with the credit spreads because he's grown his stake. Some of you out there with 10 grand, you do a $5,000 credit spread on AQs, and a $5,000 credit spread on spiders expiring tonight, and you haul in $200 on this $5,000 trade and $200 on this $5,000 trade. That's $400 in a day, 20 trading days a month. That's $8,000 a month, $100,000 a year income using $10,000. I'm talking about only using the 10,000, 5,000 here, 5,000 here, 200, 200, 200, 200. That's 100,000 a year, not compounding it. Think about that. If you compound it to 20,000 in a few months, 10 here, 10 here, or 5 and 5 and 5 and 5. You got 20 on the go at 200 per 5,000, 4 times, that's 800 a day. That's 16,000 a month. That's a $200,000 a year income from $20,000. I'm not talking about having 200,000, a million. I'm not talking 500,000 in the market. Talking about a small amount of money here, and that is why this nickel and diming isn't so nickel and diming. This is why it's important to figure out what your options cost you to write and to close out. You've got to do your homework. Absolutely got to do your homework. I love this. Bobby, Uncle Bruce, SPY call spread rolling coming from 574, 578. I need to do something today. I think Wednesday at the money rolling. Charlie, that's the shorter term goal, Uncle Bruce. 250 a day is what I'm going for. Susan Shops, 146 on the thumbs up meter. Jeff, I'm still down 6.5% year to date, and I'm down 17% from my all-time high, but much improved from my low on Liberation Day. Oh, have I come back from Liberation Day? How many people are coming back? But how many people out there who, were into ETFs and non-option writers, how many of those folks are nowhere near Liberation Day? They've come back a ways, but they're no way near back because some of the stocks that they had, and some of these ETFs got hammered 30%. They've only come back 12, 13. They're still down 15, 17%. They're not going to come back. Not yet. It's going to take a lot more than this, unfortunately for them. Option writers, giddy up. Oh my God. Bagel eaters.
Eaters.
My God. Grape jelly, toasted sesame seed, grape jelly, bagel eaters. Oh my goodness. The good times keep on rolling. Oh, thank you all so much for being here. Welcome to the party, pals. Thank you again. 218 of you are here even now after me yapping for an hour and 35 minutes. I appreciate it. Thank you again for coming through for us with the question of the day. 275 people have answered the question of the day. I see SoFi shares over $15 by the end of the week. Uncle Bruce, I think it's a slam dunk. 59% say yeah. 41% say no. And on the thumbs up meter, we were at 130 like 10 minutes ago. We're now running at 148, 52 away from the magical 200 number. Can we get 200 thumbs ups? We got 215 people watching. There's got to be 65 slackers out there who are not giving me a thumbs up. At least 65 of you. You got to get your act together. You got to help me out. I mean, I'm an old man. I'm homeless. I'm bald. Give me something. I mean, they're free to give away, Larry at least is saying, hey, bagel time, jelly time. Come on, help this guy out. The dude says, let's freaking go. Give this man some thumbs ups for God's sake. Let the boy be your dog. Thank you all for the sesame seed bagel. Without you, Jen and I couldn't afford to buy these. I couldn't afford to buy that grape jelly at Walmart, Thank you all. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're rolling here. Feeling good. 1,012 point gain on the Dow. I have no idea whether the bagel will help the Dow go higher or help it hold or whether it'll give up a little ground. And we'll find out when I'm done this bagel how it all worked out. Thank you again, everyone, for just coming to my rescue with the thumbs up meter and also engaging in the poll question and just saying hi to us. Much appreciated. Oh, yeah. 279 voters have come in, and 157 thumbs ups have come through. 43 to go. And we could hit 200 today. I thank you very much. Let's get on with this party. John T. Uncle Bruce, I am making an average of $3,154 a week. I love these stories. Or 69% so far this year. I could not have done this without you. This down market rocked me for about 2 weeks and simply adjusted my trades. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. There you go. I love this. Dude, Uncle B, maybe if you said one nice thing about Trump, not that you should, but you could, then you might get a few more thumbs up. Let's see. What's a nice thing I could say about Donald Trump? He's awakened Americans. A lot of Americans are kind of in the doldrum. He's welcome up. He's unified Canadians. He's helped Australians and Canadians pick their path forward politically. I don't know. Number 158, bagel. Cutting Edge says, hey, Bruce, my portfolio is $2,000 away from being back at my all-time high. I was down over $37,000. I am only $2,000 away. There's a lot of people that can't say that. I'll tell you that. Crazy 49er, John T., that is friggin' awesome. how you're doing. Crazy 49er dude, he knows how to fill out tennis shorts. Yeah, he does know how to fill out tennis shorts. Jeff Glass, with time, I'm going to be back to positive, even if the shares I hold go nowhere from here. If, say, Rocket Lab, SoFi, NVIDIA get close to their highs, I'll be way above. Oh, yes, you will. Oh, no question about it. John T, Crazy 49er, thank you, buddy. No question. Look, option writers, you'll find that markets hit all-time highs, and you'll be at very high levels because you own product, you own stock, you write options on, you own deep in the money calls that you write options on, like poor man cover calls. You've written cash secured puts that have crapped out, and you've rolled them into higher positions for more money. When markets go up, you make money, options and stock and other assets. But when markets go down, you're compensated for all the calls you've written. You are able to now write new sets of cash secured puts at wonderful prices. And then you fold your arms and just let the market stabilize. And without even going back to where they were, you quickly go, oh my God, this market doesn't even have to get anywhere near the all-time highs. And I'll be at all-time highs because you keep getting richer. This is the long-term cumulative effect of being a casino. That's why the Bellagio is still there. Even after 1980s, when they opened up, they're still there. Being in the casino business is worth it. And that's what you are. You're casinos. This is how this game is played, my friends. Dude, I guess the Trump fans will have to settle for a backhanded compliment. Look, take what you get. I tried Trump fans. I was looking out for you. Now give the man a thumbs up. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, he's, I don't know. He's passionate about what he believes in. Okay. He feels he's doing the right thing. I'll give him that. I'm doing what I can. Tom, 110. I have no idea what that means. Cutting edge. Thanks, everybody. Tom, 166. I've refreshed my computer. J-Boy, I was down over $67,000 thanks to questionable investing decisions. It just came back. It came back by just writing cover calls. It all came back. J-Boy, way to go, man. Yeah. My, oh my, oh my. Look, you all have your reasons to feel the way you do about whomever you like in your governors, residents, premier residences in Canada, your mayors, your sheriffs. Canadians don't know who the sheriffs are. Did you know that? Canadians don't know the names of their top cop in their town.
Well, you do if you live in a small town.
Okay.
But they rotate them.
99% of Canadians don't know the name of their top cop in their town. They don't. They don't want to know. They don't need to know because we don't vote for them.
It's like the vice principal. You don't want him to know your name.
Well, yeah, okay.
You don't want him to know your child's name.
Right. The reality is Canadians don't vote for their sheriff. They don't vote for their librarian. They don't vote for their judges. Canadians don't. That's never up for a ballot.
And our senators age out.
Our senators have to retire at age 75. That's law. They're not elected. They're appointed by the prime minister, but they have to retire after age 75. And no one puts up a squawk about it. No one bitches about it. It's just a fact. America could learn a few things, but hey, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Some of these casinos somehow spend money at the wrong ending. I've seen issues with noise and mold on the Golden Nugget and a German relocated YouTuber. Okay. J-Boy making a donation of $100. I think Jen and I have to say whoop whoop. 3, 2, 1. Whoop, 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 whoop. In support of the morning rants. Oh, thank you, J-Boy. That's much appreciated. That'll help the analytics of today's show.
He's my big brother.
Thank you so much. Jay Boy, I want you to make thousands of dollars a day, millions of dollars a year. As I do with everybody. The more money you guys make, the more generous you are. You win. I seem to win. Thank you. Jeff, I just keep writing. That's all I do. I just keep writing. I take my profits off the table when I can, and I write again. I was down 47% after Liberation Day. Common tale. And yet, what do? You fold your arms, let the market figure itself out, and then start writing, and write, and write, and write, and never stop writing. Thank you all for being here. We're at 1,055 on the Dow. I'm halfway through my bagel, and J-Boy is the #1 donator of the day. This might be the largest donation I have seen in 2 weeks. This is probably the best donation made in the last 2 weeks. I thank you, J-Boy. That is very kind of you. Beautiful. You know what, J-Boy? This looks prettier than Greg Maddox. I'm just saying. I think this looks prettier than Greg Maddox. 7 thumbs ups now. You've already got. You gotta love it. Let's take a look at the thumbs up meter now. Let's get a refresh on that. We're trying to get to 200 thumbs ups. Can you guys help me get there? 170 now. 30 away. We're getting close. It's happening. We have 284 answers to the poll question, the question of the day now. I see SoFi over 15 by the end of the week. 59% say, I believe. Uncle Bruce, I believe. 41% say, no, I don't think so. Well, let's see what happens. Thank you all. Dude says, J-Boy, let's freaking go. Thank you all. Yeah, Canadians just finished voting for a national election. 32 days. And that was long enough. The Canadians going, that's too much time. We don't need more than 32 days to decide the next prime minister of our country. We don't need no primary crap, and we don't need millions and billions of dollars spent on advertising for like 6 relentless months. No. 32 days. Next. Okay, Mr. Prime Minister, you went to Washington, you saw him in the office, you didn't yell at each other. Okay, fine, now get back to Ottawa and get back to work. And that's what we expect from our leaders. They're paid to lead the country. Let us figure out the rest of it. Let's go. Okay. Give or take. Okay, all right. Christina, thanks for making Uncle Bruce's morning, J-Boy. There you go. Thank you all. This bagel is tasty. We're up 1,043 on the Dow. There's a headline here. It says bank stocks see rebound rally as U.S.-China trade talks reduce recession predictions. Okay. Well, we know SoFi is a bank, but SoFi does not need a tariff deal to go higher. They're just getting richer every day. They're just becoming more profitable, but it doesn't hurt. But SoFi is on fire, kids. Looking good. Well, we'll see how this all plays out. 1,030 on the gain for the Dow Jones. Welcome one and all to the program. Great to have you here. Wonderful to see you folks. Great to share some time with you this morning. NASDAQ up 3.1%, S&P up 2.7%, the Dow up 2.5%. It's kind of hanging in there. Oil up $2 a barrel. Giddy up. Mm-mm. Interesting stuff. Mm, 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 mm. I'm watching headlines, see what's going on out there. Let's take a look at Wall Street Journal, see what they're saying over there. Apart from the obvious China deal. Mm, mm, mm. There's a headline here that says private equity firm TSG Consumer to buy budget gym chain in the latest fitness deal. The deal values EOS Fitness at about $1.5 billion, including debt. The chain offers memberships starting at $9.99 a month. I wonder, when I see these private equity deals, I wonder if these are anywhere, if they're going to be anything like deals like that had happened in the past, like were Payless shoes. Do you remember Payless shoes? That was a company that was invented in the 70s and 80s. It went public, I think, in the 80s. And Payless shoes was everywhere. I mean, I saw Payless shoes in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I saw Payless shoes in the Northland Village Mall in Calgary. That would have been like the 7th largest mall in the city. I mean, they were in the big malls, the strip malls, they were everywhere. And Payless Shoes was a company that made money. They had a formula. They would bring in container loads of shoes from overseas, whether it was China, Bangladesh, India, Indonesia, Philippines, wherever, stack their stores full of, these shoes for men and women, children. You went up and down the aisleway and looked at shoes in a box. You didn't have someone go to the back for you, because there was no back. Really, there was a back where the cardboard boxes came in and would be handled, but there would be the rest of it would be handled right at the retail level in the front. And you try the shoes on yourself, and you'd bring the box of shoes to the cash register to buy them. Well, these guys got bought out by private equity, and I don't remember the details of the deal, like the absolute details, but I can tell you what happened shortly thereafter. Within 5 years, Payless was Chapter 11. Was broke. They were delisted. They disappeared from all humanity, and there are no Payless stores anymore. Because at the end of the day, the private equity guys played the old game where they decided, oh, okay, well, we bought these guys for so many dollars. We have voting control, and we bought all the stock, so we now run the whole thing. And the company has lines of credit for all their locations. And we're going to close underperforming locations here and there, not too many to worry about there. And we're going to leverage up the company. We're going to borrow against the assets of the company, against its cash flow. And that's what they did. They started borrowing capital, which gave them, the shareholders, enough capital to get their money out of the company. And then they got more than that out of the company. They over leveraged the company with loan after loan after loan after loan, until the point where Payless Shoes, with their tight margins and the ability to sell you a pair of shoes for $19.99 instead of $39.99, they cannot make $20 profit on a $20 pair of shoes. They can only make $3, $4, $5. Their margins weren't sufficient enough to cover all the IOUs. And eventually the company went into receivership. And these hedge funds, they walked away from the dying company. They went into receivership. The bondholders lost a fortune, and this private investment group made double their money, billions of dollars, bankrupting on purpose a brand name that was good for 50% below American demographics. The bottom 50% could find shoes at Payless, knowing that I'm buying a pair of shoes for $20 that are only going to last a couple of years because they're garbage. They're cheap, but they're cheap getting in. And so I can roll them into $20 shoes 2 years from now, $22 shoes 2 years from now. That was the game for decades. And then they're gone. And this is a common tale. The latest example, I wonder, is Skechers. Skechers has agreed to be bought out by a hedge fund company last week. And I wonder if this is going to happen to them, that in the next 5 to 7 years, Skechers will reorganize themselves corporately and arrange $500 million here, $200 million here, $100 million, a line of credit there, blah, 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 blah. And they'll leverage themselves all over the place to the point where the hedge fund has taken all their money off the table, pay themselves ridiculous premiums and dividends, rob the cash out of Skechers, and bankrupt the company. And the rest will be blown off by creditors. I wonder if that's the game. I really wonder if this is going. I'm not your best friend. I'm your only friend. There you go. Anyway, there you have it. Susan Shops, Bruce, I wrote cash secured put. I wrote a call credit spread. I wrote a call credit spread on Robinhood Friday. Expires August 15. No, this is a cash secured put. I wrote a cash secured put for August 15. I got 766 for it. I can buy it back now for 610 and get a 20% return. Should I feel bad about buying it back right now? Well, it's a $1.56 gain here in 24 hours. You could take that off the table, fold your arms, let the market settle down later today, tomorrow, and then reassess if the shares back off a few dollars, and you can rewrite this exact contract for this kind of money again, 766. You might want to do it again. Charlie, winners, cash check, Susan. There you go. Juan, I just sold a $30 GameStop cash secured put for Jan 20. I got for June 20. I got $4.25 for it. Rock and roll. The GameStop shares are $27.58. So. Writing a 30, okay. You're prepared to pay $25.75 for the stock, and it's trading at $27.58. So there's a gain there. Any kind of a gain from here, giddy up, right? Stephen, Warren Buffett expressed a very negative view of most private equity firms being typically very dishonest. BP, making 5 to 10 grand per month on these credit spreads sounds great, but what are the risks on these out of the zero data expiry? These are not mentioned. What if we exercise, or what if we're exercised? If we don't have the money to cover it, what do we do? What do we do? Well, when you do the trade in the beginning, you are covered. So if you're doing a $2 spread on a triple Q or an SPY, it's a $200 risk trade per pair, the one you write, the one you buy, less the credit you get. So if you get a 20-cent credit, that's 10%. You're actually risking now, instead of $200, you're risking $180. So you could theoretically lose $180. That's the most you can lose because the contracts are $2 apart in strike. And if the shares, let's say they're puts, the index goes down into the money, your call that you wrote will go up in price, but the call you own will go up in price. And so that $2 spread remains between the two contracts. That's your maximum risk. On the call side, it's exactly the same. The market goes up through the strike prices of your two calls. The one call you're short, the one call you're long, the difference is $200. And that's a $2 spread. A $5 spread, it's a $500 risk, less credit. And on a $10 spread, it's a $1,000 risk, less the credit. Now, if you're getting a 5% return on a $5 spread, it means you're getting 25 cents. If you're getting a 5% return on a $10 spread, you're getting 50 cents. You're still vulnerable to the 95% that you didn't get. Now, if you are writing out of the money contracts that die tonight, and you write them at noon Eastern, and they have 4 hours to live, you're taking that position for a 4-hour window. And this is why I say every time I do this, you have to be way out of that campfire. And if the market does go the wrong direction on you, you have to be a rollover person. You have to roll your position forward. Maybe not 24 hours. You might have to go forward 48 hours or a week. You might need a lot more time to bail you out of that rollover because the market moved violently one way or another. You have to allow for that. Look, the Dow's up 868 points. It was up 1,150 first thing this morning. So it's come back 300. But that means anyone who did credit spreads already this morning has seen a $300 move in the Dow lower. If you've done put credit spreads, the market has come down 300 points on the Dow. How does that affect your SPY and triple Qs? You're watching it closely. That's why I say, and I remind you, if you're going to do expiries for today, you got to be way out of the money. You could possibly be very nicely out of the money first thing in the morning because you have all day to trade, which means there's all day premiums to get. But you also can be very well rewarded to do rights with 3 hours to go, and or you have another weapon at your disposal. If you've written put credit spreads this morning for a nice credit, but only put credit spreads, as the market backs off, you can now write call credit spreads that are $2 and $5 wide spreads expiring tonight. Now you've got an iron condor. So now you got two sets of premiums. You got your credit for your calls, a credit for your puts. And if you need to do a rollover, you may find that the credit you get for the second set of contracts you just created helps pay for the rollover of the first set of contracts. There's that too. Crazy 49er, Susan Shops, it's all about your risk tolerances. I personally hold for 40, 50%, but each to his or her own. Brian, private equity is the devil. Boston Consulting Group is the worst of them. There you go. This is not a new game. This has been around for decades, and I just mentioned it. For many of you, it makes no difference to your life. The fact that we've all lost a PayPal or a Payless shoe store in our neighborhood, has that altered our lives in a very negative way? Maybe yeah, maybe no. Maybe there's a mom and pop that operates like a Payless used to operate. Maybe there's a regional player. Maybe you buy your footwear now at Walmart. Maybe you buy your footwear online on Amazon. We all adapt. We all change. We all, whatever. There'll be someone else to take over the gap. But the gap was never that profitable for the runner of that business. And sometimes private equity does the hard math. And they go, this company is worth more dead than alive. More dead than alive. What can I say? I'm just a guy. BPA, thank you, Uncle Bruce, for the explanation of this thing. I appreciate it. We are thinking about a class for 0 days to expiry. Jen and I thinking about running a class for you on the nuances of 0 days to expiry. I'm thinking about doing it when we're back in Calgary in June. We're debating it. But when I'm ready to announce it, I'll announce it. And then we'll let you know, give you some advance warning, and we're going to go from there. Okay? So stand by, and we'll try to educate you for lesson number 19. But boy, you're going to need the first 18 to get there. If you haven't taken the first 18, class 19 might be very confusing for some of you. You have to be up on this. Just saying. But that's the college course that I like to run. Splair, have a relaxed day, everybody. Thank you, Splair. You too, my friend. Enjoy. Thank you all for joining us this wonderful day, Monday, the 12th of May, 2025. It's been a hell of an opening. We're up 888 on the Dow. It's been a bit higher than that, but you know, it is going to fluctuate today. SoFi at 1382, holding a 64-cent gain at the moment. GameStop is up a penny. ASTS is up 79 cents. We've got Rocket Lab up 78. And MSTR now is down 965. Some profit taking. Remember, it's at 406. This stock was 250, 280, 300 a few weeks ago. It's got some room to give up a little bit of ground. Just say it. AI up 57. SMCI up 148. NVIDIA up 384. Tesla up $17. So lots to follow here. Thank you, everybody. Susan Shops, Charlie, now to buy back 655. So my return is 11%. Yep, I missed a quick 20% by waiting. Well, at least I have time to August see this return again. You might get this return this afternoon. You know, there might be another rally here, and you're just going to see this return later today. You may find that tomorrow morning we're up $1.50 more, and you got a 30% gain. This isn't going to stop. Are you really a day trader? Is that really what you want to be? I understand that maybe I can take advantage of this and I can flip it. But on the other hand, you've written contracts that are going to make you money. You know you're going to make money in this trade, so let it happen. It's all good. Not a problem. Thank you all for your support. The thumbs ups. Thank you for answering my poll question of the day today. This has really been great of you to do this. It's quite helpful. 298 answers on the question of the day. 59% of you think the stock will hit, SoFi will hit 15 by the end of the week. Thank you to J-Boy for that $100 donation today. A whole bunch of thumbs ups have come in on that. 14 thumbs ups from the viewers, so appreciate that. That's pretty cool bean stuff. We are at 175 on the thumbs up meter as we are trickling a little closer to 200. Those of you on the rerun, if you're able to help out, hit that thumbs up button for us every time you watch this show and give us a bit more momentum. Thank you again for everything. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We will be on the air again tomorrow morning, of course, and tonight I'll be on TWB, my other channel. Do a little trivia there tonight in a more relaxed atmosphere. So thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful session today. Get richer, please. It's nothing personal. I just want you to get rich. And we'll see you again tomorrow morning. Jen and I, in a few seconds, are going to say our goodbye for the day. So you keep the drive alive. 1389, and that's SoFi. It's going to 14 or more. In 3, 2, 1, we're saying bye.